Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel for this episode 10 here on Riverbend Springs with me, Farmer Murphy. Well, it is August 1st. It's, not quite 7 o'clock in the morning, so not as early a start as last time, but still respectable. You can see our grass field here is coming along nicely. And if we look over here, we will see that, as expected, we have 100% bonus on here after mulching it, and it did sync up with the field we planted. I did not expect, if we run over here, this 95% yield bonus. I must admit, I am baffled by that. And I went in and check the details on the field, as far as lime, fertilizer, rolling, plowing, all that kind of good stuff. And it says we're good. So I have absolutely no clue why that is at 95%, but we're just going to pretend we don't see that, I guess. Now, our oat field here is ready to harvest, so we are going to get on that here in just a little bit. But first off, we're going to get Grandpa Walter going. He's going to help us and seed that canola field for us. Our chickens are doing just fine. Their feed is only down, I would estimate, about 5% from full capacity. So I'm going to guess we should pretty close to having enough wheat on hand that we won't have any issues there, because once our oats is out, we're going to put our barley in. And we'll be harvesting that for the chickens. Now, one thing I missed is last month we had new births. So we're up to 12 cows now. So we have 3 one-month-old calves. And I expect that those 2 little gaffers right there are 2 of them that are having trouble standing up. But yeah, I totally missed that. So that was some good news. And you will see the bales are gone, but you won't see them over here in the shed. It turned out that the current price was actually better than the projected best price, so I just sold them off. Now that meant I needed to get a trailer. Where the heck did I park that thing? So I did buy ourselves a bale trailer, and it turned out, where the heck did I? Oh, there it is. The bales, actually silage bales, paid for it almost exactly. So basically we traded, 10 silage bales we had sitting there for a bale trailer, as it turned out. But that's okay, because we're going to need that to take the straw off of the field next door. So Grandpa Walter has kindly agreed to help us out and seed that field for us. So let's get things set up for him. Once again, we'll use the old John Deere for that. Now, I can't remember how much seed we had left in here. 44%. I think, get this set on canola, I think we might gamble, because canola seed, like grass seed, is not very big. We'll gamble if there's enough in there. If we run out, we can always come back and get some more. Get this over to the field. It's all set up for Grandpa Walter and get him on the go. And we'll have to roll this field too once he's done. That'll be another job that, if we don't get done today, we certainly need to get done this month. Now, I suppose I better check and make sure that I don't have steering assist on. I do not. Okay. So we'll send Grandpa Walter on his way. And we are going to start on that oat harvest. Nice thing about the farm right now, everything's really close, so it's easy to run back and forth between our fields. Get our old harvester going here. Now, I wonder if we can get out the gate with our header on. You know what? I think we'll try. Just if we can do that, then it means we can leave the header trailer here in the yard. Boy, that looks pretty darn close. Well, we'll give it a try. No harm in trying, eh? To go on a cab for this. Boy, that's going to be close if it fits. Oh yeah, she's going to make her. Oh, that's good. Let's get this unfolded. Actually, we need to make sure our... Good thing we checked because it wasn't. Get our straw swath on. Now we have no use for the oats, so we're just going to sell it off as a cash crop. And that's actually the same deal with the straw. We're just going to sell it on. We have no use for it right now, but we might as well sell it. I mean, I know it's not worth a lot, but it's not worth nothing either. So every little bit helps. So we'll need to get that picked up. The straw baled up, I should say, and the bales picked up, and then of course we need to mulch it. Actually, let's just stop there for a second. When can we put barley in here? Let's look at the crop calendar. Barley, oh, right on top. Oh, next month. So it's not a panic situation. But we should have lots of time this month to get the field prepped, I would think. I have to admit, I am truly baffled by that grass field. I just... Because we plowed it, we lined it, we fertilized it twice, it was mulched, and if it was missing mulching, that's 3%, not 5%. We rolled. Yeah, I don't know. It's a mystery. It is what it is, as they say. Slide it on here to the road a little bit. Excuse me, excuse me. Now there's 3 fields over there, just through the trees on the other side. That's our next target land. I'd like to buy those 3 fields and put them together. Now I haven't actually looked to see how expensive they are. Yeah, maybe let's do that now, because I am curious. These three here. So, farmland. So field 9's 108. Ooh, 182. 225. Okay, that's going to take some money. Of course, we don't need to do all three at once, but I just thought those would be three fields would be nice to put together. We're hitting something there. See that? Let's just jump over and take a look. Can you see anything on the ground? Is it uneven ground or? I'm not sure why it's header's dragging on something. Maybe it's because we're running slightly over the edge of the field, possibly. It's a little bit different elevation and we don't see it because of the long grass. I'm not sure. Every once in a while it is hitting something. Go for mounds or rocks. Now back over here onto the road again a little bit. In front of the school bus. Well, I think we can get out of his way before we bother him. Now I'm curious if we'll have that same issue going around this time, where it kind of drags. I thought we harvested this field when we bought it. Let's see, here it was again. Interesting. So it obviously isn't the field edge, it's something else. Now we will hang on to this oats until it's best price because we throw it in our silo. How are we doing? Oh, we're getting there, I would say. Oh, I've got... I often play with the HUD turned off, but I've got it on, so I actually didn't need to do that. I can look over and see that we're at 65%. Yeah. Not the sharpest knife in the drawer sometimes, let me tell you. When I lowered it there early, it didn't want to move for me. Definitely hung up on something. Now that is part of the auto stop mod that I put in for harvesters so I don't run over crop as I am prone to do. get busy talking and not paying attention to the fill level. Man, that was a really bad spot, and it doesn't look like the ground is uneven in that spot. Like that 95%, it's a puzzler. I'm not sure what's going on there. I certainly didn't notice it doing that when we were harvesting the canola. Oh, I forgot to mention, I wanted to say a big thank you to everyone. We hit over 300 subscribers. We actually hit that about a week and a half ago. And I kept meaning to mention it in my episodes, and I forgot, but I want to thank each and every one of you who have subscribed, not only the recent subscribers, but all of you who have joined the channel and are following along. I truly do appreciate it. See, now we've come to a dead stop there. Let this up. We'll shut that off because we're close enough to being full anyways. Yeah, I just don't see anything that's obvious there. But we came to a screeching halt right there. Huh. Oh well, guess what it is? We need a tractor and a trailer. And I think I'll leave you there. I will go ahead and get that and get it hooked up, and we'll get this harvester unloaded. So I'll catch up with you in just a second. Okay, we've got our tractor and trailer here. Now I took the opportunity to run and check on Grandpa Walter, see how he's making out. Doing just fine. And he's not going to need any more seed. He's going to have lots, so we won't need to worry about that. So this trailer, I believe, holds 3 harvester hoppers full. So I'm going to guesstimate that, well, we might end up with more than one complete trailer load. Not a whole lot more, though, I don't think. I guess we can shut this tractor off. Because it can just sit right there. It's not going to be in our way. Jump across here to the harvester. Okay. Apparently I need to lose some weight before I can go through there. Now, let's see if that harvester has any issue. Oh. Now let's see if this harvester has any issue with that spot. Oops. Forward, please. What I was wondering is if, as we are loading up the harvester and it's getting heavier, that we're getting more ground deformation and the header is too low. Anyways, I think I will leave you there and I will bring you in when we are done this harvest and we'll see how much oats we have. So it won't take me too long, so we'll see you in a little bit. Well, there we go. We are done. It's what, quarter to 10 basically. Now I did dump a full trailer load, and what have we got? 2,600 liters, so that's 22.5. So just a little over 25,000 liters of oats in total we have. Now I did have several times where the harvester came to a dead stop while we were harvesting. So I just, not sure what's going on there. What I might do is once we get this straw off of here, and I might take the smoothing tool and run over it and see if smoothing the field out helps at all. Not sure it'll do anything, but can't hurt. Now I checked on Grandpa Walter, he is done, so our canola is in. So we need to actually fertilize that one more time and also roll it, so we have that to do. We'll pull this out of the way. So we'll give it a quick repair and a wash before we actually stick it away, because unless we get a harvesting contract, we'll be done with it for a while. We'll just let it sit here. The chickens can keep it company for a while. Now, I have an idea on this grass field too. I was thinking about that while I was harvesting, and we didn't plow the center of the field. We cultivated it, because I noticed if I run over here where the field divider was, where we plowed, we'll suddenly jump to 100%. What I'm thinking is, even though it doesn't say there's weeds in here, I'm thinking there might be weeds in the areas where we cultivated. So I'm going to take our hoe here and I'm going to try and run it across that grass field and see if that does anything. Now, the field data says there's no weeds, but it's worth a try. It's not going to hurt anyways. So I'm going to get this dumped in, and then I am going to conduct that little experiment quick, and then I'll get hooked up onto our baler and we will do a little baling and get this straw taken care of. So I'll see you when we're ready to bale, and I'll let you know how I made out with my little grass experiment. So we'll catch up with you in a bit. Well, I did run our little test, or tried to run our test on this field. The first thing I did was to put a worker on it, and it came up and said that the field was in an incorrect state and the worker wouldn't go. So then I just ran the hole myself to see if it did anything, and it did not. But I still think it's something to do with the weeds, because if we come down here and look at this field that we just put our canola in, on the bottom right there, you can see it says there are weeds growing. The only difference between this field and the one we were just looking at is that that canola field had grass put in it, and this canola field had canola put in it again. And interestingly, if we go in and look at the soil composition, and you can see I just have weeds on, it shows that there's no weeds in our grass field and no weeds in the field we're currently standing in, yet in our info box it definitely says there's weeds in there. So what I'm going to do is I am going to throw a worker on there with our hoe, which should get rid of the weed. And then, of course, we've got to fertilize and roll it. But after we do that, if it comes up to 100%, then the only difference between this field and our grass field was that I threw this weeder on there, and that will pretty much, to my mind, prove that it's a glitch with the weeds. So we'll get this worker sent off here, and as you can see, not going to have any trouble doing that field at all. And I'm just going to let a worker do it because it's very hard to see the texture difference when you're weeding or hoeing when the field is in that state. I do the same thing when the hoeing contracts come up, just for that same reason. It was so tough to see. But we'll let that carry on. I have something new to show you, so I will catch up with you in our oat field because that's where it is. So we'll see you there. And there is the reason that our money is down to, what, $22,600. I have traded in our John Deere round baler for this Massey Ferguson round baler. Now, they're both baler wrappers. They both have end turners on them. So you may be asking why make the change. Well, this baler has two features on it that I wanted. One is a silage additive tank, so theoretically we should get a yield bump on our silage when we make it. And number two is it will do the larger bale sizes, and it should bale and wrap up to the 180 centimeter bales if the documentation can be believed. And that really was the biggest reason, is to get those large bales. So let's jump in our tractor here and give it a try. Guess we're going to need to pick a gear here. I think that one there should do. Now, do we need to unfold this one before we start? Nope. I guess it unfolds when you turn it on. All right. Now, you know what? We are going to go in cab here, so we do not need to deal with those trees on this initial couple rounds here. So the larger bale size means we just have fewer bales to handle. And when it comes to picking these bales off of the field, you'll see why that is important. So I don't think we need that anymore. So that was really the biggest reason for the change, was the larger bales, and then the bonus of having the silage additive tank is the reason we spent the extra money. We didn't lose too much on that John Deere baler because if you remember, we bought it used, and I think we got nearly everything we paid for it back, so that was all right. But it's pretty good timing because it won't be long before we'll be needing to make the silage. Alrighty. Better watch for cars here. Let's go back around this way. Oh, I say I lifted a little too early there. Left a little piece behind. Now we'll take a look at the operation of it from outside just once we get done around these trees here. As in cab is the best way to avoid it dragging you folks through the trees. Sneak out here onto the road again. Boy, I sure like the nice tight turning circles that we have on these tractors. I know I've mentioned it before, but I really think they have improved the turning circle. Okay, this. Does this baler must have a chamber in it? I don't remember reading that in the documentation. So it acts like a fast baler. We're not having to stop. I'll have to go back and check that because I honestly don't remember it saying that that's how it behaved. But that's definitely what it's doing. Added bonus, I guess. Definitely. Oh, wow. That's a bit unrealistic. I did not realize it did that. And maybe it did mention it in the mod, but I didn't see it. But it doesn't run any faster, so we'll take advantage of that. Works pretty good. I think it has a little bit lower horsepower requirement than the John Deere, and I think it's also a bit more maneuverable without just that single axle, not the dual axles on it. So pretty nice baler. Now, did we get all of this up here that we missed the first time? Well, one tiny little bit. I do like that not having to stop. Although I didn't mind I had that mod, the round baler extension that stopped you automatically. I did modify the mod though slightly because it was running you at basically half speed for 10% of the bale, and I changed it just to 5 because that running at half speed for waiting for that last 10% seemed to take a long time. So I didn't mind using that when I had made that change to it. But I'll take the not stopping. Now I wonder if it'll do that when we're doing silage too. I imagine so. It's acting like a preacher. Let me put this back on and yeah, it does. It does show the 2 chambers. Huh. I'll be darned. Well, and it could have very easily said that in the mod, and I just missed it. I went all starry-eyed when I found it could do the 180 centimeter bales. Anyway, I think I'll leave you there. Maybe we'll take one more look at it from the outside in action. And I'm going to get this baled up, and I want to show you how I plan on picking these bales up before we end this episode. So we'll just wait for one more bale here, and I will leave you there then, and we'll come back in and pick these bales up. I guess I should have looked to see how close we were to a bale before I did that, but there we go. Alright folks, I will leave you there, and I will bring you back in when we're ready to pick these up, so we'll see you in a few minutes. Well, there we go. Baling is done. We got a dozen bales, so there's 10 still to be loaded. I have a couple here on the trailer because I was having some issues getting this going for some reason. Haven't done this method yet in 25, so rather than starting over, I just left them there. But what I like to do in circumstances like this, where I don't have a huge number of bales, is I take an auto-loading trailer, but I treat it like an auto-stacking trailer. Now, this is nothing new. I've done it a number of times. Those of you who have been around the channel for a while will certainly have seen that. But there's a lot of new folks that may not have seen this done before, so I thought it was time to show it again. So rather than taking the trailer around to the bales, I just bring the bales to the trailer. Like I said, it seems like the first bale does not want to go on with this method for some reason, or I had some difficulty. So, but it's all set now and working. We don't need to back up. What was I thinking? So now for the first row, initially anyways, you can actually take and drop the bale right onto the trailer, but I find usually the trigger doesn't go high enough for the second row, and the second row of bales you actually have to drop down beside the trailer. But I find this is a nice mix of between realistic and unrealistic, because it is difficult to stack these in-game. At least to stack them so they look like somebody did it who knew what they were doing anyways. And it works really well. I like this round bale grab for that. I hadn't used that before. I was before always using a bale spike. As you can see, it works really good with this because the bales just drop right off of it. Nice and handy. Now, I won't do it this way if I have a large number of bales to deal with. I will usually use an auto stacking trailer. Either do everything with that, or in some cases I've actually stacked them by the field, and then I'll go and use an auto loading trailer to go and pick the stacks up, or some combination thereof. And of course I obviously in some cases just use the auto stacking trailer or auto loading trailer. This kind of depends how I feel. But I do like doing stuff in cab, and this is a pretty nice in cab job. Now, I haven't tested this trailer for this. Let's take and drop this one on top and see if it loads it. Like I said, I found most auto-loading trailers wouldn't load. The trigger wasn't high enough. Oh, but this one is. Sweet. Now, if you're trying to do this and you're having any issue, I suggest try putting one bale on, because that old issue when I tried a couple recordings. I started over, and that first bale would just plunk onto the trailer. But as soon as I set it to auto load and just loaded it up, then it seemed to work. So I don't know why that would be, but might have been doing something wrong. Now I am going to take a look at the price of straw. If it's not too far off, actually, you know what? Let's just do that right now, and then we'll know what we're doing. Prices. Straw. Yeah, it is a fair ways off. I guess we'll hang on to it. I was hoping that it would be closer to peak price, and we could just sell it off so we didn't have to store it. But what I'll have to do is I haven't cleaned up those straw bales in the shed yet. They're still laying all over the place, so I'll have to clean them up and throw these in the shed, because 30% is a fair bit. That's a pretty good hit to take. Now, of course, I could get out and move that other tractor, but most of the bales are down at this end of the field anyways, so just got a couple here I have to run a little ways for, so I'll just do that, run and pick them up. Actually, I think we only have one more to go. Oops. Oh, wrong button. That's why. Oh no, two more. Now I think the next episode we'll just carry on right from here. We have this field to prep. We can't put the barley until next month, but we need to finish our other canola field, and I want to see what it says as far as yield bonus once we've done the last two operations to it. The rolling and the fertilizing. It should show up to be 100%. I just, you know what, I just realized what I should have done is I should have done the rolling and the fertilizing and see if that took it to 95, and then done the weeding. Didn't think of that. That would have been a definitive answer then. It's finished the weeding, obviously. What I'll do is I'll go back and review my recording and see if there was a 5% change in yield bonus, and then I'll report on that on. Well, you know what? I will do that before we sign out. Here is what I'll do, and then everything is all in the same episode. That makes more sense. All right, so there are our bales loaded. Like I said, when you've got not that many to do, it doesn't take that long, but now you understand why a fewer bales is an advantage. So I'm going to park this up, and I am going to go back and check what I recorded and see if I can make out what the yield bonus was at that time and what it is now with the weeding, and I will bring you back in and report on that, and that's where we'll call it an episode. So oh boy, that was dangerous. I didn't even look for traffic but I got lucky. Anyways, I will see you in just a minute. Well, the plot thickens. So I did go back and check the recording when we ran down to this field when it said it had weeds in it, and the yield bonus then was 70%, and the yield bonus now after weeding is 70%. Oh, yes. Okay, so we don't have an answer, but I will be curious then next episode, once we roll it and fertilize it, if it pops up to 100. I am still going to go with the weed theory for now, just because that'll be the only difference, because we did not weed this that I recall. I may go back and look at that footage just to confirm it, but I'm pretty darn sure we didn't weed it when we were prepping the field. But anyways, with that mystery still hanging over our head, I will leave you there till next episode, and I think we'll pick it up right here where we left off and finish off with our 2 fields, getting them ready to go. If you're still with me, I really appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, I encourage you to hit that like and subscribe button. And if you want to see when other content like this lands, why, hit that old notification bell. But for this episode here on Riverbend Springs, it's Farmer Murphy signing off.